In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a simple yet powerful budget spreadsheet in Excel. Whether you're looking to track monthly income, expenses, or just want a better way to visualize your finances, this step-by-step guide will cover everything you need to know. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have a fully functional monthly budget spreadsheet that you can use to track your finances all year long. Imagine you have a few income sources, like your main paycheck, a side hustle, and other small earnings. You also have fixed expenses like rent, car payments, and insurance, plus variable expenses like your electricity bill, groceries, and entertainment. You want to organize all this information in Excel to keep track of how much you're earning, how much you're spending, and ultimately how much you're saving. I'll walk you through how to create this spreadsheet and how to calculate your balance each month. All right, let's dive right in. First things first, let's create a title for our spreadsheet. In cell A1, type Monthly Budget. This will be the title for your entire sheet. If you want to make it stand out, you can increase the font size and bold it by selecting the cell and using the formatting options in the ribbon at the top. You can also change the alignment to center it across your table by selecting the cell and clicking the Merge and Center button in the ribbon. Now that we have our title, let's set up the months of the year. We need to create columns for each month to track income and expenses separately. Instead of typing January, February, and so on, Excel makes it easy to fill in all the months in just a few seconds. Here's how you can do it. In cell B2, type Jan. Then, move your cursor to the lower right corner of the cell. You'll see a small square in the corner called the fill handle. Click on that and drag it across to the right. As you do this, Excel will automatically fill in the rest of the months for you. In just a few seconds, you'll have all 12 months filled in across your spreadsheet. Now that we have the months, let's add the main categories for our budget. In cell A4, type Income. This will be the first major category in your spreadsheet. Skip a few rows, and in cell A11, type Fixed Expenses. Below that, in cell A19, type Variable Expenses. These headers will structure your budget and make it easier to follow. If you want, you can also change the alignment to center it across your table by selecting the cell and clicking the Merge and Center button in the ribbon. Let's start by detailing the income section. Under Income, let's add some typical sources of income. In cells A5 to A8, type Paycheck 1, Paycheck 2, Side Hustle, and Other. These are just examples, so feel free to modify them based on your specific income sources. Now let's enter some example values for income in January. In column B, type $1,200 for Paycheck 1, $1,200 for Paycheck 2, $300 for Side Hustle, and 0 for Other. These numbers are placeholders, so you can change them later when you have your actual figures. To calculate the total income for January, click on cell B9 and type the following formula. Type an equals sign, sum B5 to B8. This tells Excel to add up all the numbers in cells B5 to B8. After typing the formula, press Enter and Excel will calculate the total for you. In this case, the total income for January will be $2,700. If you need to add another income source later, you can insert a new row without breaking your formula. To do this, right-click on the row number where you want to insert the new row, for example, row 7, and select Insert. Excel will automatically shift the existing rows down and include the new row in your sum formula. After inserting the new row, enter the amount for your new income source, and the total income will update automatically. You don't need to redo the formula. Excel takes care of it for you. Now let's move on to the Fixed Expenses section. These are expenses that stay the same each month, like rent, car payments, and insurance. In cells A12 to A16, type Rent, Car Payment, Renter Insurance, Gym, and Other. Again, feel free to adjust these based on your actual fixed expenses. Let's enter some example amounts for these expenses in January. In column B, type $600 for rent, $300 for car payment, $10 for renter insurance, $30 for gym, and $15 for other. To calculate the total fixed expenses, click on cell B17 and enter the formula, sum B12 to B16. This will add up all of your fixed expenses. After pressing enter, you'll see the total fixed expenses for the month. In this case, it would be $955. If you need to adjust your fixed expenses later, just update the numbers in column B, and the total will recalculate automatically. Next, let's set up the variable expenses section. These are expenses that can change from month to month, like utilities and food. In cells A20 to A26, type electricity, water, cell phone, childcare, food, fun, and other. Let's add example amounts for January. In column B, type 100 for electricity, 30 for water, 40 for cell phone, 400 for childcare, 300 for food, 50 for fun, and 100 for other. To calculate the total variable expenses, click on cell B27 and enter the formula, sum B20 to B26. After pressing enter, you'll see the total variable expenses for the month. In this case, it would be $1020. Now that we have our income and expenses, let's calculate the remaining balance. This is the amount you have left after subtracting your fixed and variable expenses from your total income. In cell A29, type remaining. Then, in cell B29, enter the formula B9 minus B17 minus B27. This formula subtracts your fixed and variable expenses from your total income. Press enter, and you'll see the remaining value for January. In this example, the remaining value would be $725. Now let's calculate the running balance for future months. In cell A30, type balance. This row will help track how much money carries over from one month to the next. Click on cell B30 and enter the formula, B29. This formula simply copies the remaining value from the row above. Since January is the first month, there are no previous months to reference, so the balance is the same as the remaining value. For February and beyond, we need to adjust the formula so that each month's balance considers both the previous month's balance and the current month's remaining value. Click on cell C30 and enter the formula, C29 plus B30. This formula takes the remaining amount from February and adds it to the balance from January. The reason we do this is that in a real budget, whatever money is left from the previous month rolls over into the next month. This allows us to track how much is accumulating over time. To apply this formula across all months without manually entering it each time, we need to drag the formula to the right so that it automatically updates for March, April, and so on. To polish the spreadsheet, let's start by adding borders to the entire table to give it a cleaner, more professional look. If you want to apply borders to all the cells at once, you can select the entire table by clicking and dragging over the range of cells you want to format. If you want to apply borders to specific non-contiguous areas, hold down the Control key on your keyboard and click each cell or range you want to include. Once you've selected all the desired cells, go to the Home tab in the ribbon. Find the Borders icon. It looks like a square with a grid. Click the drop-down arrow next to it and choose All Borders. This will outline all the selected cells with clean grid lines, making your spreadsheet look more organized. Next, let's format all the monetary values as currency. Similar to adding borders, you can use multi-selection to format only the relevant cells. Hold down the Control key and click to select all the cells in the income, expense, and balance sections that contain numbers. Once all the necessary cells are selected, go to the ribbon and click the $sign icon in the number section. This will apply the currency format, automatically adding a $sign and decimal places to all the selected numbers. To make your spreadsheet even more visually appealing, you can change the background color of your title and headers. Start by selecting the cells you want to highlight, like the monthly budget title or the category headers such as income, fixed expenses, and variable expenses. Once selected, go to the ribbon, click the paint bucket icon, and choose a background color. A light blue, green, or any subtle color works well to make the headers pop without distracting from the rest of the content. And there you have it. You've just created a simple yet powerful budget spreadsheet in Excel. Now you can track your income, expenses, and balance month by month, and you'll always know where your money is going. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more Excel tutorials. I've got plenty of tips and tricks to help you get the most out of Excel. And now, YouTube thinks this next video will make you an Excel wizard. Watch it or stay stuck in spreadsheet limbo forever. No pressure. See you there.